This is my instant reaction to John Lynch's pre-draft press conference as the 49ers get prepared for the draft. And it is the first day of the offseason. You had players report today. And so obviously that was also a big portion of what John Lynch had talked about and some of the updates to come out of this press conference. So let's get into it. Let's talk about George Kittle. When asked about George Kittle, he says that in relation to George Kittle showing up to OTAs, he says, we'll see on that, but we have had good communication, good talks. So take it for what it's worth. Again, this is voluntary. You don't have to show up for this. And Nick Wagner of ESPN made a good point saying that there have been players who haven't been in negotiations that haven't showed up to this. So it's, you want to see your players show up, but at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily mean the sky is falling or anything like that. And then obviously with Brock Purdy, there was a decent, situation made of his showing up today because Mike Silver had reported yesterday that if Brock Purdy wasn't going to show up today, that it would be an indication that they were actually further apart in these these contract negotiations. But he did show up, and John Lynch, in regards to the talks with Brock Purdy, says that I think there's been substantive talks that have this thing going in a good direction. So that has kind of been the theme that we have been hearing recently, is that things are progressing. The fact that Brock Purdy did show up today is a good sign. So hopefully that will get done. I would assume sometime after the draft. That was kind of my original projection and anticipation, is that's kind of when we would get that taken care of. But there has been some speculation about the future of Trent Williams, and so it was good to hear that John Lynch had reported that Trent Williams was in the building today. He did show up for the first day. Again, he didn't have to, but he did. And so I feel like that kind of squashes any of the retirement speculation. Again, we still have to get through the draft to really know for sure, but it's another step in the right direction, another indication that Trent Williams is going to play next year, and I really hope he does. I think he will. There was some additional news and notes from the press conference. Dustin Perry was promoted to the vice president of health and performance for the San Francisco 49ers. I know Dustin Perry has worked with the 49ers for some time now, so good for him to be able to get that promotion. It sounds like the 49ers had a pretty exhaustive search. Said that Lynch interviewed multiple candidates across multiple different sports and backgrounds, different leagues, because it does sound like they really want to get the health down. Obviously, injuries have plagued the San Francisco 49ers over the last couple years, and so yeah, you don't want those injuries. You want to make sure you got the right guys in the building, and I've heard a lot of really good things personally about Dustin Perry. So congratulations to him. Some draft comments that John Lynch had made. He did mention that the 49ers have 20 first round grades. I wish I could put him to a lie detector test. I'm like, are you sure about that? And again, the 49ers have been reported as being a team that would like to trade back, that would be open to trading back. And, it doesn't make sense to trade back if there's no players to trade up for. And so, of course, it would make sense for, John to say that. It was funny, right? I think when that came out, Adam Peters was speaking for the Washington Commanders, and he's like, outside the top 10, we have no idea how this draft is going to fall. Because as we've talked about all offseason, is it really does feel like there's probably 9, maybe 10 first-round graded players. And that's the thing, is that the 49ers are picking at 11. And so that's why we've been talking about, we really hope Jackson Dart maybe goes to the New Orleans Saints. We really hope that Shedeur Sanders goes in the top 10, because we want that real blue chip talent to fall to 11. Now, there's no guarantee that is going to happen, but it is something to pay attention to. So he said there's 21st round grades. If there's 21st round grades, then that would also indicate that maybe they would be willing to trade back. But he also did say that he doesn't expect there to be a lot of movement in this draft, because of that notion, is that there's just not really a lot of high end, top end talent that is going to really, move people to want to trade up. So it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be fascinating to see if the San Francisco 49ers stick at 11 and pick there. Do they maybe attempt to dabble and move up? Or what I really do suspect they would want to do is trade back. It's just an unfortunate kind of prospect class for the trade back scenario, because the hope is that either the Saints take a quarterback, or if the quarterback falls to 11, some team is motivated to come up to go get that quarterback. Because outside of that, I don't know if anyone's trading up for a cornerback. I don't know if anyone's trading up for a defensive lineman. So we'll have to see about that. But overall, nothing too crazy that came out of the press conference. Honestly, it just felt like kind of par for the course. And, just kind of going through some of the notes. I see John Lynch reacted to the Devonte Adams quote. He said, "I saw that quote. That wasn't me. I've always had a great deal of respect for Devonte. That didn't line up. If there was any disrespect taken, none was intended." And that was in regards to the 49ers wanting to pay him a wholesale rate and not a retail rate, which Devonte Adams was considering himself. And that came across as disrespect. And I like how John Lynch says that what did he that wasn't me. Wonder who it was. Because again, I don't think John Lynch, everyone, not everyone, but some people do point the contract situation stuff on John Lynch, and that's not John Lynch's wheelhouse. That there's a whole, that's Parag's wheelhouse. Parag does the contracts. That's that, I would say that's more football administration than football. It's a part of, the operation, umbrella. But I would say that falls under Parag Marathe. He's the king negotiator for the San Francisco 49ers. So John gets a lot of fingers pointed his direction for the contract stuff, but I really don't think that's his wheelhouse. I really don't. So anyways, outside of that, nothing too crazy came out of this presser. Nothing, earth-shattering, breaking news. Just more updates of, hey, this guy showed up. That guy didn't show up. Fred Warner showed up, but Kittle didn't show up. You know what I mean? We had Trent Williams show up, so all that kind of stuff. Brock Purdy showed up, so negotiations are going well. So other than that, just kind of draft talk. He talked about what they're looking for in edge defenders, being able to set the edge, rush the passer, breaking news, of course. That's what you want in a 3-down edge. So I'm just curious. I'm really curious to see what the 49ers do in this draft, how they execute it, how they go about it, and who they come away with. This is a very important draft based on their holes and needs, and they really got to kill this one. So let me know what you guys thought. If you had a chance to listen in on the press conference, let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.